A strange atmosphere has begun to drift around St. James Park in recent days, the kind of feeling that arrives slowly, almost like a cold breeze slipping through empty stands and making any attentive supporter realize that something is out of place. Nothing has been said officially, no red flags raised, no explosive announcement from behind the scenes, yet small signs have appeared here and there, awakening that curiosity only those who live Newcastle United day by day can understand. Before revealing exactly what lies behind this shift in mood, it's worth following the trail of this story. Because what happened on the pitch reignited important discussions and brought a doubt nobody expected to face so early in the season. And if you follow the club closely, you already know how these subtle changes can be the beginning of something bigger. And as we dive deeper into this narrative filled with tension, expectation and decisions capable of reshaping Newcastle's path, here's an invitation for you to subscribe to the channel. It helps our work reach more passionate supporters like you, especially in moments when every detail matters. Today's story has more layers than it appears at first glance, and the further we go, the clearer it becomes that there's something behind the scenes that needs to be understood. In the last few matches, a different mood has taken over the squad. Supporters noticed that certain movements on the pitch weren't flowing as usual, and a few exchanged glances between players and staff left a question hanging in the air. The team had been oscillating, and despite important goals scored recently, a sense of apprehension was spreading. Some key players were showing signs of fatigue, while others seemed to be hiding something they didn't want to show publicly. And here, just before the turning point of this story, it's worth reinforcing once more the reminder to subscribe to the channel. It ensures you continue receiving in-depth updates like this, crafted with care, rhythm, and layers of detail far beyond what appears in everyday headlines. Now that everything is set, the moment has come to reveal the key point that shifted the direction of Newcastle's week. The truth is that Sandro Tonali's injury, picked up at halftime during the match against Tottenham, put the club in an uncomfortable situation and opened a new wave of criticism. The midfielder left limping, didn't return for the second half and immediately became a cause for concern. According to information reported by Chronicle Live, the Italian is being assessed by the medical team and his situation remains unclear. And it was exactly this episode that made many supporters and pundits question whether Newcastle could have managed their players' physical workload more cleverly. Tonali, considered a central figure in midfield, had already been rested recently, just like Bruno Guimaraes, who also missed a few sessions. Eddie Howe said after the 2-2 draw with Spurs that Sandro took a knock in the first half, and that there is still no clarity about the type or severity of the injury. Meanwhile, the team once again suffered the drama of dropping points in the final minutes, something that has happened more often than necessary. The draw left a bitter taste, because Newcastle were very close to securing 3 consecutive wins and claiming a more comfortable position in the table. Bruno, who came on in the second half, scored a stunning goal, and Gordon extended the lead with a penalty. It was the ideal scenario to end the night with celebration. But a poorly defended corner in Christian Romero's goal shattered those plans and revived an old ghost. The lack of emotional and tactical composure in decisive moments. Howe, visibly frustrated, said after the match that the team fought to reach the position they wanted, but were not clever enough to hold on to the result. This comment brought back a criticism some supporters had already been whispering. Newcastle lacked street-smart instincts in certain situations. They failed to recognize the right moment to slow the game down, keep the ball, or control the tempo when victory seems within reach. And if you've followed Newcastle for years, you know how emotionally costly these moments can be across a season. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is a good moment to do so. That way you keep receiving complete analyses like this one, packed with information, context, and the close attention we value so much. The manager also commented on the table and how quickly positions change. In a matter of minutes, Newcastle saw their chance of finishing the round in 7th place disappear, dropping straight to 13th. The Premier League does not forgive slip-ups, and that was exactly what Howe highlighted in the most competitive league in the world. A single detail is enough to turn victory into frustration. This emotional rollercoaster remains one of the team's biggest challenges since last season. Beyond Tonali's injury, the match brought up further questions about the squad's physical preparation. Bruno once again looked decisive, providing energy and intensity in the second half. But the question remains, is the rotation being handled in the best possible way? Does the squad have enough alternatives to prevent key players from being pushed to the point of avoidable injuries? Another detail that stood out was how acknowledging that, even playing against a vulnerable Tottenham, Newcastle didn't make the most of their best moments. Spurs were coming off a harsh defeat to Fulham, and were under pressure from their supporters. Even so, the Magpies couldn't control the match when they were dominating. Another important observation is Newcastle's recurring habit of conceding in similar situations. Poorly defended corners, positional lapses, and lack of communication in the box continue to be weaknesses repeatedly exploited by opponents. The team have been working on this, but emotionally, they still lack the cool-headedness of sides more accustomed to fighting at the top. And of course, in the middle of all this, Tonali's name gains even more prominence. The uncertainty around his condition for the next match against Burnley adds yet another layer of tension to the week's narrative. According to Chronicle Live, the player will continue to be monitored until the last minute to determine whether he will be fit to play. It's important to remember that Tonali has been crucial in Newcastle's transitions, contributing both to attacking build-up and defensive recovery. His absence, if confirmed, would force Howe to reorganize the midfield once again, something the manager has faced frequently since the start of the season. And this is a good moment to calmly extend the invitation to subscribe to the channel. The more supporters join us, the more complete, investigative and engaging content we can deliver. The community grows, and with it, the space for constructive debate about the club we all care so much about. Back to the analysis, it's essential to highlight that Newcastle did have moments of control during the match. They created good chances in the first half, attacked with intensity and seemed determined to take advantage of Tottenham's emotional vulnerability. But football's oldest rule applied: if you don't take your chances, you will suffer. In the second half, Bruno's introduction gave the team an entirely different rhythm. The midfield became more dynamic, the ball moved with more fluidity, and the triangles began to appear frequently. But this also reinforces another concern: there is an excessive dependence on certain players to make the team function. Another point worth noting is Howe's comment about being smarter. The manager knows that despite competitive performances, the Premier League demands a level of maturity that is still developing within the squad. Newcastle have talent, energy and ambition, but still lack that surgical instinct in the final minutes.